When you allow yourself to go on that experience, your magnet is either open or closed.
Totally.
And you can choose to go on this experience or that one.
Yeah.
And when you constantly remind yourself that everyone is using the same kind of magnetic force through the world of whatever it is, you're going to start meeting these people that you kind of share the same thing with. People are brought to your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And they're teaching you something, a lesson.
My name is Justin Gerhard. Beside me on the couch we have Ryan Hickernell and Lucio Nieto, who are the stars of a short film called Foreign Lovers that played at Inside Out Film Festival this year in Toronto. Tell us a little bit about the film.
It's one of those sort of slice of life stories that actually happened to me.
Okay.
It came kind of out of a dark place, and I think the best art, when you're tapped in and inspired, comes from a little bit of pain. But it's like when you meet a stranger, and even though you may not necessarily be with them forever and they don't live in the same country as you, you still have those experiences and they're valid, and it sort of just questions like if you can fall in love with someone in 24 hours or...
What's the premise of the film?
So my character is sort of like spending his whole day on social media and alone in his apartment, and tries to reach out, and in New York that's a very real thing. I feel like there's a lot of times we are stuck trying to reach out, but it's such a busy, fast-paced place that people are just doing their own thing.
And they stick to their phones because it's comfortable. It's
right
in their hand. They don't have to get out of their comfort zone in a way. Yeah.
We have to fight for these organic connections and what it means to when you really meet someone organically and how exciting that is. And we sometimes forget and just get caught up in the romance and just experience the experience for having it and be grateful for having it.
Where are you off to?
I'm just gonna head home.
Why don't you stay? Have one drink with me.
So Lucio, you play this foreign lover. Is that correct?
I do.
So you bring in that idea of this really authentic moment just hitting you in the face, which you maybe wouldn't have thought was possible at that moment.
Well, serendipity too. It's like when two worlds collide. I always think of that. Is it Adele? Right, that Adele song. When two worlds collide.
Yes, I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know.
Worlds collide.
I'm just such a
that one.
a romantic in that way.
Yeah. So this idea came from you. You wrote it.
Yeah. I was doing a film in India, and I came home and I was unemployed, and I was like super depressed because I was just riding this high of being in this movie, and then I was back cater waitering in New York, but in India I had met a man, and in 4 days had felt more than I had in maybe 4 years.
Right.
And he really opened me up to things, and then I came back to New York, and I had been back for maybe a month or two, and then I randomly run into this dancer that I saw at his dance show and looked him up on Instagram before, like after, and then I went to this bar and I had a drink and I ran into an old friend, and then I came out, and as I was leaving I opened the door and he was walking in, and he asked me to stay, so I stayed.
Yeah.
But then I asked myself, why do I keep having these experiences with strangers?
Yeah.
And why when I can't have these people, am I into it?
Right.
You know, like I think
there's a rush. There's an excitement to
total
the beginning
rush
of that. Of what's going to happen?
Experience
It's going to turn
junkie.
into something really important. But that's the question when it gets to the point where you're like, whoa, this is love? Is this love?
Right.
How could it be love so quickly?
Or is it me keeping myself from love too because I can't have them?
Because they're unavailable.
Right. And I think we're all just wanting connection and feeling a little lonely, and I think I made this because I don't think we talk about it enough.
Absolutely. Lucio, do you have any experience in your personal life with this kind of relationship, these foreign lovers that come in and out of life?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's yes. Yes.
We don't have to go into the details. But
No, but
What about yesterday?
See,
you have a new Canadian lover?
you know what? It's so. What I believe is that the universe, as we were speaking about prior to this, is that it happens in a way where you are forced into the world either by your choice or something else.
Yeah.
And I do believe that for myself, I can speak on my experience, when I travel, if I go by myself or if I meet someone, for something like this, I'm still going as a nomad or a wanderer.
Yeah.
And when you allow yourself to go on that experience, your magnet is either open or closed.
Totally.
And you can choose to go on this experience or that one.
Yeah.
And when you constantly remind yourself that everyone is using the same kind of magnetic force through the world of whatever it is, you're going to start meeting these people that you kind of share the same thing with. And of course that happens where it is very romantic to come to a foreign country and have these possibilities, and someone notices you who's a part of that country and they know that you're not a part of it, you know?
Right, yeah.
So I think there is that celebratory thing of, I'm going to be grateful in this moment, because if this is all that we will ever share, then I'm going to allow this to be a little more unfiltered and allow myself to feel those things, because when you do go back, it is the reminder that it's possible.
Right.
You know, you never know who you're going to meet, so why deprive yourself of those opportunities when you get to have them?
And they could happen where you live, too. Being
They totally
open to
can.
that possibility.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is that in the past I might have been someone that was struggling of like, where's my person?
Yeah.
You know, but then I realized this magnet is basically doing this,
Exactly.
so that person's not going to arrive.
When you're traveling, your magnet is a very
Open.
different...
It's open.
in a different space. Yeah,
And when you
absolutely.
kind of reroute that back in your normal day life, I definitely think the best thing is learning self-love. You know, you just have to allow yourself to, in those moments of being lonely, I've been there for sure, where you want instant gratification, or you want validation, you want to feel sexy, or feel beautiful, or feel loved, or wanted, as opposed to, you know what, no. I'm beautiful exactly the way that I'm. Oh, who wouldn't want me? Not in a vanity way, you know, but I crave myself for the simple fact that I can allow myself to celebrate me, for me. And then I think then it becomes easier to find someone else that also wants to celebrate you, and you can allow that. It can be scary, but to receive it is the best thing, and to give it back.
So how did it come about that Lucio was cast in this film that you wrote and directed and starred in?
And produced.
Everything.
I mean, he's doing everything right now.
I'm trying.
And you're learning in this process.
Oh my gosh,
but
it's...
How did Lucio become a part of the project?
So I wrote this also as a vehicle, not just for myself, but for my friends. So everyone in the movie are like my closest friends in New York. But I made sure that Foreigner was somebody that I didn't know.
Yep.
So
For
there's
the realism of it, almost.
Yeah.
It's like, this is, let's play this.
Oh yeah. And so we had an audition, and through Actors Access, and he submitted, and I was like in the hallway going to get a water or something in between, and he recognized me because of the internet.
Of course, you've got to Google what you're going in for.
Absolutely.
But he locked me in, and in that moment, I didn't even know him as an actor, but I found that really interesting and real as well. And look at his face. So
No, it's really hard not to look at his face.
You guys, stop. You're both handsome. Thank you.
Maybe this is why we're supposed to meet. Not to say that I'm in love with you, because I'm not in love with you, and that would be crazy, and I know that you're not in love with me.
You're doing it again. How do you know this isn't love?
You think you can love someone in 24 hours?
We aren't robots.
What do you want people to take away from this film?
I want us to just feel a little bit less alone, and to believe in love, and not be afraid of it, and just to be present and be yourself, and allow yourself to be loved or feel loved.
And feel pain.
These heady nights, this heady trance. I'm looking for a better word. There must be one.
For sure, it's all real.
I really feel like that's one of the things about this that struck me, and that I've experienced, that moment of like, but it is over. And I don't want it to be over, but it actually is over.
Yeah.
And it may never come back to me.
It's totally bittersweet.
Remembering that moment with fondness, but also that it is a reminder of what is possible, instead of like wallowing in the sorrow.
Totally.
In those moments, you gotta release. You have to feel that pain, because that's the only thing that's gonna strengthen you for the next time you do something else. And it's something to be grateful for, because I believe in all that pain, you're gonna learn something.
Totally.
People are brought to your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and they're teaching you something, a lesson.
100%.
1000%.
The word queer. What does the word queer mean to you guys?
I think it's like that spice. You know what I mean? That extra something, the fearlessness, and the presence of just being who you are, I can't speak.
Unapologetically.
You know what I was trying to say.
We all don't know that word this morning. It's
Yeah,
fine.
let's say it together.
Unapologetically.
Wow, see, it just takes all three of us to have the power of three. Queer was something that actually I heard so much as a kid
Okay.
that was just a thing that happened. So for me, queer, not always does it fall under the umbrella of identifying as queer or having that thing. It's more of just like, you're weird, you're different, you're interesting, and I also never thought weird was a bad thing. Queer is celebratory.
Yeah.
It is, I can embrace this because I don't have to identify as everything else, but here's the umbrella to which I live under, and you can identify what that is for you, you know?
And we feel on the Queer Network, this is an opportunity to explore queer in the 21st century, which we feel is this umbrella. And we want, this acronym has I think lived its life as what it needed to be to represent a portion of this community. Because at one point in time, we were only ready for that portion.
Totally.
But the world is ready for much more.
Yeah,
and now
we need all the soldiers.
There's so much more in between all those letters, and I don't even think all of those letters were really actually discussed. So we feel like the queer is that big umbrella for everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for being on the couch.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your art and your pain and your just joy through this experience on screen. Thank you so much for watching at home. If you've never been here before, subscribe to the channel, like this video, obviously. And there's this notification bell that's just below us. If you hit that bell, you'll get notifications when we put out all of our new content here on the Queer Network, so make sure you do that. Links to their Instagrams will be in the description, as well as a link to more information about the film. Queer
Is
here!